This next one is, I just titled it To My Divine Masculine. And it's really just, my thoughts. I struggle sometimes with the idea of being vulnerable with someone again. Is I've had to, I've had to learn to have energetic boundaries, right, with people, with family, friends, and um, the person I was married to. And so there's a lot of betrayals that happened that was just unnecessary because I didn't realize till I was introspective and I was away from everyone, like that I was around for a long time. It wasn't until God removed me from these people that I was able to look back and say, wow, they weren't very nice to me. A lot of my friends tried to make me feel small or like I don't know what I'm talking about, like I'm stupid, basically. And, all different kinds of things. You don't have to be specific. Like, I don't have to get into the specifics, but it's just like, typical betrayals, And I didn't realize it because I just want to love people, and that there's nothing wrong with that, right? But also it becomes wrong if it's draining you, right? And even when I came to Ohio, that was like the trigger, the catalyst for my healing journey, right? Coming back to Ohio, where I had to be forced with all these memories, good and bad, but mostly bad, to be honest with you. And I had to work through it a lot on my own and still be a mom, right? Even in that process, I used to struggle with being patient because I did not regulate my emotions well. And I can see, like, I can physically visualize like a graph, a correlation between the more healing work I did and the more I was able to be patient with my children whom I cherish, And anyway, I had to learn to have energetic boundaries. And now I'm at a point where, like, is anybody trustworthy? Like, if anyone were to approach me sincerely, I would be wondering, like, do they have a hidden agenda? You know, like, I don't want to be in a position where I am sacrificing myself to please anyone, not a friend, not a job, um, not the love of my life, not my significant other, aka. So anyway, but I trust and believe that when in God's timing, that the one who I will wait on the Lord for, and not just like force my way in to marriage, like, I choose you. I don't care if you don't love me. I want to be married and I want to be a mom, like the one that I don't force, the one that God sends, the actual one that God, when the scripture says, who God brings together, let no man separate. That man, I'm going to trust and believe that he's safe for me and my children, first of all, because that's the number one thing. I don't like to talk about it because I can anticipate the conversation is going to be uncomfortable, because who would like to have that idea that someone could think of them in that way, like even go there? But that is the number one thing that would, if anything was ever going to hold me back from ever dating again, it would be my children, because I don't want to expose them to abuse, right? And when you have a single parent household, I'm talking from experience. The defense with things like that is severely infiltrated. It's easily infiltrated, the defense, spiritual defense, and all of that. Like, when you're a single parent, you have to handle everything, and it's like a cracked vase, and you're trying to hold everything in, but there's cracks in it, right? So if you see me on the street and you're approaching me, but I'm with my kids, and I give you it's not personal. I'm in defense mode, right? I'm protecting my lion cubs, okay? Not personal, okay? But anyway, back to what I was saying. Like, when I think about dating, that is the number one thing I need to have an inner knowing that you are going to be safe. For my children, like, even when no one is looking, that's what I've been praying for. Because, you know, I don't even want to talk about pornography, but that's where I'm going. When you talk about, like, I'll talk about my experiences with pornography. It starts off like, I first started off like with seeing, it started off like on my like little high school, actually it was in middle school, I think middle school. Anyway, it started off with seeing videos of like on YouTube, where you don't even have to, like videos on YouTube where you know, you don't even have to say like I'm 18 or older, of men kissing, right? And so that was enough at the time, right? And then it just gradually got more and more, and then I have to go into those websites, Pornhub, X videos or whatever, X and videos or something, like, you know, you guys know the websites anyway, and like, you know, look up things. And even, I wouldn't say it's not crazy, like, but even some of it was like, got more aggressive. Some of the videos I got into were a wee bit more aggressive, you know. um yeah, and so I'm just speaking on the progression into an addiction. And so if anyone, that's why it would be weary for me, if it would be kind of, for me, knowing what I know about addictions, it would be a red flag, right? If anyone was like super into pornography, because of the progression, the natural progression of it, right? And it trains your brain just to see people, even me, like, see people. And I'm a woman. You know, they say men are objectify women, but women can objectify men too. I mean, not necessarily objectify, I would say, but I appreciate a pretty man though. But what I mean is, um, you just look at the outward appearance. You don't even take the time to analyze what's on the inside before you get too attached. That's what I struggled with anyway. Yeah, so anyone that like watches porn like that, it would be a red flag, just because of the natural progression, right? And then it teaches you just to look at people as objects, right? Of pleasure. And vaginas, oh, I shouldn't say that. Wow. Private areas, you know, I can say that. I don't know what's allowed on YouTube, so that's why I said that. But are private areas. But obviously, it's inappropriate to look at a child's private area, right? So, but the number one thing that helps calm my mind when it comes to that, because I do want to be married, I do want to experience genuine love, right? The number one thing that comes to my mind is, if there's someone like me, then there are others out there that are not perverted. Not everyone is perverted, right? So that is the number one thing when I think of it. It is kind of a little bit, it is a big fear of mine, honestly, because I had other fears of marrying the wrong person, kind of thing. And several of those fears came into my reality. It was like the thing I didn't want became my reality. The thing I ran to, in a sense. And so that's why you do the healing work, to work through that. So you work through that trauma, right? So that you don't unintentionally attract it, right? Or run to it, in my case. But yeah, so yeah. But like I said, I have faith that if there are people like out there like me, then there are other people out there who are faithful, who are not perverted, who and still like to have fun. That's the thing, right? Yeah. So it's not something I like to talk about, but I might as well practice now, because we're gonna have to have these conversations, right? Adult conversations, working through it, not accusing or anything like that, but just working through our reality, right? Because it's good to communicate. Communication is good. I was with someone who didn't communicate, you know, like it was like it was either like I'm accusing or I'm trying to start an argument or anything but like working through things, you know. And that's okay. Not everybody's ready to have that emotional maturity, right? But I'm at a place where I can decide what I want now, right? Or what I'm going to accept. And nobody is perfect. I am not perfect. You know, I never want to stop becoming a better person. Um, so yeah, it's a bit heavy in a way, but at the same time, not really, because, like I said, I guess the person will be on the same frequency as me and be able to understand why we'll have conversations like this or why that would be a fear. And, you know, right? Anyway, so I have faith that my divine masculine is a wonderful person and, you know, faithful and, you know, modest in the sense of he's not just like exuding the energy of, look at me, all the girls want me kind of thing, you know, because that's overplayed. I've had enough of that for a lifetime. You know, like, doesn't matter how much I can stroke your ego, you're greedy with attention, you know, kind of thing. I don't want that, right? So I'm the type of person like I if like today, for example. So today, for example, I was picking up my daughter and from school with my other daughters. It's always me and my girls. But anyway, and there's this okay, I am not crushing on him, okay? I'm not crushing. God, I'm not crushing. All right. But there's this dad. He is attractive, okay? And he every time he like pass each other's way, he like never like nothing. Like you would think I don't even exist. And that's fine. You don't have I'm not saying like you gotta look at me. No, it's not it's not like that. It's just funny, like but then I peeped him as I was walking away with my girl. I peeped him like looking. I was like, what? Kind of thing. So that's an example of like if I was always getting that kind of attention for me, that will actually be overwhelming. I'm the kind of person where like I love attention from my person. I want my person to just make me feel like I'm the best. But I'm not the best, obviously. But I want my person to be satisfied, to be content, and to show me that he's content, you know, and happy with me, kind of thing, and not like unsatisfied, right? And anything, attention, acts of service, whatever, you know. So anyway, it's just like an example of like, okay, so you do notice me, right? But if I was constantly like getting attention like that, it would be a lot for me. Um, or maybe I'll get a big head. I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. No, but yeah. So I prefer. I like sacred. You know, I feel like I keep going off to side conversations, but there's this one time I had a job at a call center, and there's a lot of people in that building who work there, right? As a typical call center usually does. There were a lot of people that were like, I guess what you would consider like fluid, and just more open with their relationships, right? And so I remember having at least two people. I would say another person, he just was a cheater, so that's not an open relationship if your girlfriend doesn't know you're cheating, right? Okay. Anyway, I would say there's two people that talked about their experiences with entering a third person in the relationship, right? And now, and then I had, well, I won't say that, it's too personal, but anyway, I knew someone else that talked about it, and I tried to warn that person, like, do you really want to enter someone in your relationship? That could, like, ruin the relationship, right? But anyway, so from the people that they were talking about, they were, like, saying, they were making, like, it was so positive, there's nothing wrong with it, but at the end of the day, they're not with that person anymore, right? And my goal is not to just serial date, even in a monogamous way. I don't want to be a serious monogamous dater, right? I want to be a one and done kind of person. But now it's going to be two and done, hopefully. Anyway, though, so I don't want to actively bring a tower in my relationship, right? That could that will inevitably bring us further apart, right? Um, the androgyny, I think that's with two men. No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking. I'm joking. Like no. But I did see a documentary about that. I think, but yeah, no. It's just I don't know. It's just it may work for some people, but for me, I don't like to share. I don't like to share. Um, not behind my back and not with me knowing either. You know, so that's just how I am. You're right, and I'm confident in myself, but that doesn't mean I want to share. Okay, that's just me. But anyway, to my divine masculine by Jessiah Voné. I want to run to you, but when I feel your energy near, I get paralyzed by my fears. My heart is full of love, but my heart was trampled over and left for dead. But instead of moving on to be around people who were genuine, I stayed and chose to endure to almost the end. I got out just in the nick of time, the open wounds bleeding red. I had no time to rest. I had to dress my own wounds and be superwoman to my kids. I tried to run to another person, and I was stopped by my own spiritual guidance. And that was the moment I had to focus on me and do my healing. I've grown a lot, although there is still room for more growth. But I would be lying if I didn't say my energy has changed some. A Queen of Cups transformed into the Queen of Swords after having to cut nearly everyone out. Not out of my life because I had not much power or control over that, but out of my energy because enough was enough. I still have the scars of these battles, and if I'm not careful, these scars will turn into wounds again. I'm not careful. Okay. So I'm scared. In fact, I'm terrified. Terrified to let love in again. So, to my divine masculine, please, please be patient with me. I love to serve. I love to stroke egos. But where I was once eager to throw my love out there, now I'm much more weary and cautious. I had to learn not everyone deserves my love so freely because love is precious and worth cherishing. So please cherish me because I may look tough, I may look strong, I may come across like I don't need anyone, but in all reality, that is the furthest thing from the truth. When you finally approach me, just please show me the proof that your love is real, genuine, and faithful, that you are not here to play with my heart and my mind for me to learn lessons. I have to remind myself if there is a faithful person like me out there in this world, then there must be others who have faced their fears, others who love with a love so concrete because they had to teach themselves how to love themselves first. When you genuinely love yourself, you are capable of loving others. Those are the kind of people I want to surround me. That is the kind of love I seek. We love ourselves, we love each other, and the frequency from that will be life changing. Sometimes when I daydream, I see my future with you. I smile and thank God for the beautiful life He has in store for me. I will not give up on love. Well, maybe. Just kidding. I'm a hopeless romantic, no matter how the world tried to play me. I move with caution, trying to move from the past, move on from the past, as I continue to live my life, there is always hope. Hope is a powerful feeling as well. Hope is a powerful feeling as well. God knows how grateful I am for restoring my hope again. So to my King, my love, the man God sent me, I promise to love you for all of eternity. All I ask is that you remain faithful, understanding, and protect me. Be a safe energy for me and our children. No one is perfect. God knows I am not also. But as long as we strive to grow, we will be impenetrable, shielded from the darkness of this world. Yes, a weapon may form, but it will never prosper. I love you always and forever. Divine Masculine, you are my hero. Disclaimer, but you will never take God's place, much like Jessiah.